Welcome back in my garage. An update on the compound project. Well, there were some things in my head, some problems I had to think over, and I think I found a solution. As you see, the intercooler that's placed here was here in a frame, but I couldn't get used to that idea because the engine is moving. And the intercooler is just sitting there on the frame, so that means you need a hose from the turbo to the intercooler, from the intercooler to back to the pipes that go behind the engine. And I don't. That whole idea, another pipe behind the engine, I couldn't get used to it. I had to find another place for the intercooler. Tried a lot of things, but space. It's just such an issue. If you look at the video now, you think there's lots of space there, but you need an air filter, you need a hose, you need blah blah blah. So there wasn't enough room. The way I did it right now, why I came with this solution is for a couple of things. As you can see, well, it's quite spaced out now because that is my current aluminium frame, which places the original radiator a bit back. So there is room for pre-radiator for the water intercoolers. And it's the correct size with the one on my car. My kids are missing their plates. That's because that's a frame size of my spal fan. I got two of them, but only one is in the way. So now you know where you're looking at. I got it spaced out now with cottons. That's only to keep it a bit in the middle. The whole, maybe you can see it here. Yeah, it's a whole custom made piece of the intercooler. Of course, this pipe has to move, but it's only here now for the video, so you can see where I'm going at. There's going to be a frame from the gearbox to the intercooler. From here down there's another mount to my engine support here. So the intercooler can also move with the engine. So I don't need any hoses. These things allow a pipe to move a bit in and out, and they allow 5 degrees of movement, which is enough. So I can only use these clamps. These are from AliExpress, and that's gonna be good enough for the 1.1 bar, or that's like not even 20 psi of boost this turbo is gonna do. It's a 2.5 inch in, then it's getting cooled, and here it's going to be a reducer, and we're going to 2 inch straight over the dynamo, straight into the turbo there. So it's going to be like that. Why? That bend, I never liked it. If you use an 180 degree bend before the inducer of a turbo, you're gonna move the surge line to the right on the compressor map, and you don't want that. Also for the airflow going from the front of the engine over the engine, it's gonna be so packed in there if there's another pipe. And if I had to repair the car, and you have to use your tools when the car's on the bridge from the underside with another pipe there, it's just gonna be a disaster, man. It's going to be hard enough anyway. So that and the intercooler being stiff and the engine moving all the time using hoses, that was for me the whole idea. We needed to do something different. So I'm very glad that I can make this intercooler fit. Originally the battery was here. In my car it's in the rear. We had to saw out a small piece that doesn't have to be as big as I did here, so it requires less framework than when the intercooler was here on his side. More room for an air filter, it's perfect. Another thing, as you can see, it's heat trapped. Yeah, I need more. I know downpipe's not heat trapped all the way. But I came across with a problem, and I thought of it earlier, but I haven't found a solution. Everything is heat trapped. Good for you. But that big 60mm valve, that's gonna produce a lot of radiation. It's gonna be hot. And it's not ideal to heat wrap it because it's such a weird shape. And it's gonna heat up my intake manifold. Here you see the real situation. Here you see the wastegate. Well, not really on top of it, but very close nearby is the intake manifold. This is of course my first design, even without the water intercooler, but I don't want that heat there. And then I saw that there is only one supplier so far that I found, PTP, that supplies wastegate blankets. And I have even in the country here, which is Germany is the next one, there's a dealer of PTP. I couldn't find anyone else who did it, but I'm gonna order one of these blankets, so that's one problem less. Here you could see the original routing I wanted to go with the compound. My original idea was to go behind it. I even modified the downpipe in such a way that there is room for another pipe, but you got a lot of bends because if the intercooler is here, you need another bend and another bend, and if there's any boost leak or crack, you need 3 bend clamps to get it apart. It wasn't what I wanted, and I think that going around the engine on the front side now, that's going to be a real good solution. Another update I got for you. The low pressure turbo, the big turbo. As explained before, this is the turbine wheel you're looking at. There are no AR ratios, AR sizes of turbine housing for me. That's the correct word. So I only got this small housing, and I want lower exhaust manifold pressures. Here you see that when this one was rebuilt, they removed a piece of material at my request, and they call it clipping. They call it clipping here. So exhaust gas can pass through the turbine blade, between the turbine blade and the housing, and it lowers your exhaust manifold pressure. Well, it does, but I'm further now, and I have picked up more knowledge, and I drove some cars with clipped turbines. At full throttle, they're okay, but with spooling, they're not okay. They're a bit slow, and even that, a turbine wheel has 72% of how do you call it, rendement. Well, that torque is needed to drive a compressor wheel, and if you remove material here, then you are really fucking up the efficiency of that turbine wheel. So I needed something else, and what I needed is this.